What's up, everybody, and welcome back. Today, we are going to be discussing R-Truth's release from WWE and what it means for WWE and us as fans in general. Again, much like you who was watching this video, you will probably have been just as surprised as I was at R-Truth being released. Being with the company for 17 years and being one of the more entertaining superstars on the roster who could take anything he's been given, whether it's a 10-second segment or a throwaway line in a promo, or, even recently with the John Cena mini feud he had for Saturday night's main event. Whatever he got given, Truth made it incredibly entertaining. And I will be sad to see him go because I think he has something that a lot of the roster don't have, which is great comedic timing and talent and great promo work. And I'll be sad to see him go, and I just think it's a real shame that we've lost someone who brought something different. And I hope it doesn't spell the end for maybe some more unserious wrestling, because I think there's always a place for a bit of fun in wrestling, a bit of comedy. Of course, you're gonna have serious feuds, you're gonna have your big title fights and things like that. But having stuff like Truth trying to get into Judgment Day and Truth coming out in Cena merch and things like that is always fun. There's things like that are what make wrestling as fun as it is. And I just hope that we don't start losing that with Truth maybe going. And what may have been missed by some people is that Carlito will be leaving in a couple of weeks when his contract's up, which again was another surprise because Carlito has been a big part of Judgment Day and their storyline. Now, he's not necessarily maybe like the Finn Balor, Liv, and Dom dynamic, but he's in the background and he plays a role, again, as a comedic outlet for that group. And it'll be sad to see him go. It'll be interesting to see with him announcing he's going, if he's going to be on TV or if he's going to get written off in some way. And if maybe that's a spark for the next part of the Judgment Day storyline, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, in terms of what these releases mean, I think this is really putting a statement down to superstars and wrestlers in that company of WWE that really no one is safe. And I think it's continuing a trend from these past couple of months, and maybe probably the biggest superstar that we've had released in terms of fan favoritism that we've had for a while. Again, let me know in the comments if there's someone I've forgotten, but in the past couple of months, we've had Braun Strowman, Dakota Kai, Shayna Baszler, people like that who've been on television recently who maybe not getting the biggest pushes, but they've been on Raw or SmackDown continuously for a little while, and for some reason have been let go. Now, you can make arguments for those superstars no longer being in the company. Maybe they weren't hitting the potential. Personally, for me, I enjoyed all those superstars, but I do think it's continuing a trend with the TKO era that no one really is safe. And unless you're one of the big mega stars, like your Roman Reigns or your Cody's, maybe your CM Punks at this point, maybe your Seth Rollins as well, I genuinely think that you aren't safe. And if they don't have anything for you, even for a month, you may be moved on to pastures anew. And I think that's a shame because I think what it'll do, again, I'm not a wrestler, I don't know what it's like in the background, and this is me purely speculating, but if you're maybe in the mid card or the lower part of the card, or maybe someone who's not getting used anymore or as much at the minute, if you see someone like R-Truth getting released, what does that say to you? How does that make you feel? Never mind being higher up on the card. And R-Truth's been a mainstay of the company for 17 years. I can't imagine it makes people backstage feel great about things. Yes, WWE's been in this massive boom period, making record revenues and profits and getting all these merch deals and everything else going on. Obviously, the Netflix deal and things like that. Like, these are all big, massive wins for WWE, and they should be applauded for becoming a mainstay in the public domain, especially when wrestling wasn't really that popular long ago. It's only really been the past few years where it's picked up again. And it is in something of a boom period at the moment, especially when you look at ticket prices and things like that. Like, clearly it's making its money. But if you're a superstar that's maybe trying to be part of this rise or this boom, and if you're not getting used properly, and you're seeing someone like R-Truth, who's been around for 17 years, get released, I would be worried that if it was me personally, like if I had 6 months left of my contract and nothing be mentioned to me, I would be worried. Like obviously I don't have everyone's contracts in front of me, but if you're someone that's not getting used, that's gotta be really concerning in terms of what's happening next in your career. Now, of course, there's always something after WWE. We've seen plenty of people go into independence in AEW or into other avenues and go and have successful careers. So it's not necessarily the be all and end all WWE, but it's obviously where a lot of people want to be. And if you've worked your entire life to get there, it must be brutal. It must be a brutal feeling seeing people like R-Truth and Carlito go when they've been around for such a long time. Of course, Carlito had a big gap between coming back, but he's been on the screen for most weeks since he's come back with Judgment Day. And I just hope this isn't going to be a continuing trend where we're just going to see loads of superstars being released on a monthly basis. Now, of course, we used to always remember in the Vince days. I can't remember if it was always like in April time after WrestleMania. There was always a day that would get framed as being release day, and it never used to be a great day for everybody because you would see 10, 20, 30 superstars getting cut at a time. And there'd be some logic behind some of them, and then some people you'd be like, why have they not been given the opportunity or the fair shake of the dice to be used more? But these TKO releases, since they've taken over, have been a little bit more cutthroat and not as big in terms of the amount of people getting cut, but they seem to be a bit more frequent. And I'm just wondering if this is more of a pattern that we're going to see over the coming months and years with TKO's ownership. And yeah, I do think it's spelling the end of this honeymoon period for WWE because obviously, really, ever since WrestleMania, there seems to be a bit more negativity around WWE. Obviously, I don't know if the negativity outshines what the positives are in WWE at the minute, but there is more negativity there than there maybe has been over the past few years when you consider the storytelling maybe hasn't been as strong with Cena's heel turn. Obviously, the initial heel turn was fantastic, but you think of the Mania main event with Travis Scott, you think of the back and forth maybe with Cody that weren't as strong, and it's taken a while for it to get going. And I just feel like overall there has been a bit of a dip, and I think there was always going to be one, but it's hopefully there's going to be an uptick again. But I just hope that with the sort of downturn in creative at the moment, obviously that may well uptick in the coming months because we've got Money in the Bank coming up and we've got SummerSlam, but also with maybe these outside of the wrestling ring storylines like the cuts, you've got maybe some of the, Triple H's response after WrestleMania when he wasn't impressed by people not being happy with the finish, and you've got people just saying, just watch it, just don't have any complaints, just watch the program and get on with it, basically. I think there's more negativity around the WWE sphere than there maybe has been in the past few years. And it'll be interesting to see if this is really the end of that honeymoon period and if we're going to see a continuation of these cuts. I hope it's not the case. I hope people are going to be secure in their jobs and that they're going to be relatively safe. But again, like I mentioned before, if you're one of those superstars that maybe has a year or less in their contract, are you feeling a little bit unsafe? Are you feeling a little bit less secure? Time will tell, obviously, if this is a continuing trend. But fingers crossed, obviously, if people get released that they have successful careers in other places and find something to do after WWE, because I know for a lot of people it is the be-all and end-all. But, of course, going back to the start of the video, I am incredibly sad and upset that R-Truth has been released because, to me, he had something that not a lot of superstars have, which is great timing, great comedic timing, still has the art of the promo, nailed down to a T. Just look at the SmackDown promo before Saturday night's main event when he said he was going to beat the living hustle, loyalty, and respect back into John Cena. The man just has it, and he is a rare breed of superstar that can make something out of nothing, and he's done that over the years, and I'm sure if he continues in wrestling, he will continue to do so. But anyway, bit more of a somber one today. I apologize for that. As always, folks, if you have enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button. Let me know that... No, words are difficult today. I'm leaving that in. I'm not going to edit that out. Let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are on the R-Truth release, and do you agree that maybe this is a continuing trend of negativity for WWE, and maybe the honeymoon period is over? And yeah, I'll see you on the next one, where hopefully we'll have something a bit more positive to talk about. I'll see you there.